And we're back. We're live with the Vacuous Perspective. I am Val, joined always by good friend, co-host of the Vac, my man Nate.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. It was only a week ago or so that Australia was drinking the tears of every English person when the Bairstow stumping happened. I don't know if you know what happened on day 5 of the Ashes, but the short answer is nothing happened. Too fucking rainy.
Too wet.
So instead of drinking tears, the Australians in England were drinking glorious rainwater.
Yes, the drink
all the way to the dubs, because cricket's a dumb sport. You can play for 5 days and they call that a draw, right? Which is going to, if England win the 5th test, lead to a draw of the series, 2-2-1, right? 2 wins, 2 losses, a draw, which means that Australia retain the Ashes because we already had them.
Yeah, you have to defeat your adversary to take the Ashes back, though.
That's true. It's the same as
they
in
must
fighting.
Be defeated. Yeah.
If you draw against the champ remains the champ. But what I'm saying is that you play 5-day test matches. You do 5 of them. We get a draw that could lead to a draw that leads to a win. Somehow.
It doesn't seem right, does it?
It seems a bit But it's an old game, right? That's what happens.
So you're saying that they need some mechanism to break the draw?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how. I mean, I think in the olden days, I think they just used to keep playing till they bowled them out. See you tomorrow. Didn't get them. 7-day test. Oh,
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think they just kept going.
Yeah, it's kind of like in backyard rules. When I was probably about 15, which would have meant my younger brother would have been 9 at the time, we would go out the back just to play some cricket as the sun was setting, in the backyard. And I'm just smacking him around the park. 4s, 6s, 10 down the side. If you get down the side of the house, it's 10. Racking up like 150. It's getting dark. Little brother's saying, "Can we go inside now? I would like to go inside now." I said, "Nah, man, you gotta bowl me out. Come on, man."
Classic older brother. Yeah.
Terrible.
I'm not going anywhere whilst I'm piling on these runs.
Yeah, man, I'm in the groove. I'm in a groove here.
You're like, mate, I am loving this. This is excellent for my ego right now. Keep bowling at me.
Oh, it wasn't really. I think it had an opposite effect. Because I think at some point I would have cottoned on that, I'm a bit older than him. Smacking him around the park. He says I used to make him watch me play Grand Theft Auto, but he was not allowed to play Grand Theft Auto.
Why wasn't he allowed?
He
was too young. Was it too violent?
Yeah, too violent. Yeah, no, that's for the 12-year-olds and up, mate. 12-year-olds and up.
So he would sit there and watch you play,
which is just as bad, right? I'm doing doing exactly what he would be doing if he was in there. I'm doing all the bad
you're
stuff.
Doing the work. You're being even worse. You're probably hanging out at the strippers non-stop. I mean,
so was he.
How old are you?
So was he.
Yeah, but he's. How old was he? 9, you said, or was that when you were playing cricket?
I can't remember when Grand Theft Auto. When we would have had Grand Theft Auto 3 kicking around the house, I don't know. Early 2000s, let's say. So, he's right on the cusp. He would have been, 11, 12 years old. Like, that's not fair, is it?
No. I led quite a sheltered childhood, actually. I hadn't really seen too many of the. There's not too many movies that I saw that were probably outside of that which I shouldn't have seen. So, I mean, the one that comes to mind was From Dusk Till Dawn.
Well, you saw that when you were young, did you?
Well, not young. I mean, I was probably...
Too young, though.
I was
you were
too
watching
young.
it going, I shouldn't be watching this. That's what you were thinking, right?
Yeah, I was...
Right
I'm guessing when it was. Like, maybe I was like 13 or something watching an R18. Is that... That's not... I mean, 13. I'm in year 8 or something.
It's not even that bad.
It's not.
I don't think it's R18. I think it's MA15 plus.
Is it? I remember thinking it was pretty badass, but see, that's what I mean about my sheltered existence.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, I think I've told this story before, but when I was about 7 years old, I saw Terminator 2 at a friend's house. That's too much. But it was awesome. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, there's some pretty adult themes in that one, isn't there?
It's pretty much all good stuff. Save the world. Watch out for the robots.
Yeah,
that's
bit of guns. Good, yeah.
Bit of training for the Terminator. You know, I went to the Royal Show once or twice when I was a kid, and the show bag that I picked was the Terminator 2 show bag, you know, and I would have got a Birdie Beetle and whatever else, you know. But the main one that I wanted was the Terminator 2 show bag. My parents, they got it. They got it for me. So this was.
What was the toy in that one?
Dude, it was this wicked rifle. No, it was a shotgun, like the one he uses on the motorbike where he reloads by doing the cool flicky move.
Yeah.
It was that thing, and it made a sound when you did the thing.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't get that. Oh, my God. It was pretty realistic as guns of the 90s went, toy guns of the 90s went.
Show bags were absolutely genius because they charge you like
$40, $30.
Yeah, 15. I don't know what, $30. Depends what you get. But really, I'll be looking through that show bag magazine and I'd analyze like the one or the two toys I wanted, which you could probably buy for like $5 a pop.
$5, yeah.
But I just want all the other junk in there. So I'll get the one with the whoopee cushion. I had to have a whoopee cushion every year.
Yeah, tick. That's so true.
And I mean, what's a whoopee cushion cost? $2?
Yeah, less.
Yeah, but then I'll use that as an excuse to get all the lifesavers and everything else.
So which one are you getting? Are you getting like the Magician's one? You like the Magician's?
Yeah, that's a good
show
one.
bag. It's got a card trick in there. It's got a little wand thing that has a handkerchief in it. It's great.
I basically wanted the biggest show bag as well, whatever, like the monster.
Your parents, they must have been looking at us go through the show bag catalogue just, oh my fucking God, what is he doing? The Mega Mammoth? It's got fucking nothing
Mammoth,
in it.
Yes.
It's got nothing in it.
There's nothing. There's nothing of substance in that.
I bet you the Mega Mammoth's still going. I bet you it's still going. I bet you it's still top tier. I bet it's still what people are looking out for, the Mega Mammoth.
That was one of the few times I'd always be on the hunt for the TV guide in the paper leading up to the Royal Show. It's the only time I ever cared about the paper. I'd be like hunting through going, I know it comes out a few weeks before the Royal Show.
Oh, how many parents are just hiding that from their kids, just throwing it in the bin and going, oh, it didn't come. Oh, it's so weird.
And then I'll be carefully analysing which ones. And then I'd sort of have a tier system where I'd be like, these three I have to have.
Yeah. Yeah. What we'll do, because we always like planning for next week, right, is next week we'll go through the catalogue and we'll do a bit of a, what are we looking at? Where's we'll give a bit of a rundown. Where's he bang for buck?
Yeah, well, when's it come out?
I don't know.
Probably not yet, right?
Nah, it's during summer, right? That's probably marking some solstice, right?
Probably. Okay, but then there's show bags, Perth Royal Show, Pez Play. Yeah, no, I think you're already on here. Perth Royal Show, 23 to 30 September 2023. Okay. There's a Seinfeld bag.
See, I'm in.
Seinfeld air freshener. Seinfeld playing cards.
Okay.
Seinfeld cooler bag. I'm going to stop saying Seinfeld. Cooler bag. Novelty golf ball.
Is that a Seinfeld one?
Iron-on patch. Key ring. Wallet. Sticker. Tote bag. Puzzle. Socks. Travel mug.
Look, for the quintessential Seinfeld nerd, it's probably a must-have. The iron-on's great. They're not giving you the T-shirt. Get your own T-shirt. Iron it on.
See, look, this one sounds fun, right? It's just called Squishy Things.
That's what the show bag is?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure there was something like that, and we would have just went, "Oh, that's lame, Mega Mammoth." But now,
this does look actually quite lame. But I would definitely not have got this when I was younger. But now that I'm looking at it, it just looks fun. So it's Squish Ball Glitter.
Okay.
Squish Mesh Pen.
Okay.
Squish Pen.
Yes.
Squish Squish Mochi Friends.
They all have squish in them.
Mochi Friends. It's, again, Mochi Dinosaur.
Wow.
Must be two of them. Mochi.
How much are we talking? You got to tell me Barsh on these.
No, they don't put the price on them. Oh, you can click. Wait, here you go. So you click on it. It's got a list of the things. $32 for all the squishy things.
So the prices are similar to when we were kids, which is.
I thought that sounds pricey. Then
that's a mid-tier. That's a mid-tier bag. Your Mega Mammoth's your 40 Barsh, right? That's your big boy.
I'll check on that. They're all squish things, but then there's a stretch pug, a stretch unicorn, and a stretch. Yeah, then a squeeze neon ball. So they're really mixing it up there.
Yeah, the only squishy thing I got when I was a kid is they had those climbers, which were basically just sticky things with hands and feet, and you threw it at the wall and let gravity do the rest. They would like climb down your wall because it would stick to the next part and then stick to the next part. It would slowly just kind of go down. Yeah, that was probably one of the cooler things I got out of a show bag. What about a good old slinky? You would have got a slinky.
Got a slinky. Yeah, there's a Rick and Morty bag. That sounds pretty badass.
This is what I'm talking about. They're on the money.
Yeah, but see, I've realised they don't have. It's not everything's up. I think this is just the early show bags, just to kind of get the flavour for what's going on. So pre-release show bags.
Right. So we'll have to come back to it.
Yeah, we'll have to revisit that for sure. I saw Barbie on the weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, the one about the atom bomb.
Yeah, right on. You went to Barbenheimer.
There's just a lot of overlap between those two. I get a bit confused sometimes.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. I think I heard someone say, has 2 movies ever come out before? Has this ever happened? I mean, yes, the answer is yes. But yeah.
The 2 movies that are this similar, though,
they're so similar.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you've seen one, you've seen the other.
Is that right?
Yeah, bombshells.
Bombshells.
All that going off, yeah.
Okay.
No, we did watch.
We did go see Oppenheimer.
We did go see it.
I was thinking, can you spoil history? There are going to be spoilers for Oppenheimer up ahead. So you should see in the link below thing that you can skip the time code ahead if you really want to see this movie. It's a good movie, Christopher Nolan. But we're going to be talking about it a bit because it was sort of mentioned that it is quite historically accurate. And Nolan made a big deal out of making it historically accurate, right?
Mm.
So, in my opinion, you can't really spoil history because we can spoil the movie. So, if you're going to go see the movie, go see the movie. Go on.
It had very high expectations going in. I didn't really have a chance to debrief with you afterwards, but I liked it. But because of my expectations, naturally, it failed to live up to them.
Yeah. Again, what the movie?
Yeah, the movie. I thought that the acting was great.
Yeah, agreed.
The acting was fantastic. It's lots of big actors. They all had a great time.
Doing their best.
It looked lovely. I think everything was good about it. It was just so dialogue heavy. It was just very dialogue-y and jumping around a lot, different times. And
it was. I've made this point before, though. If something's making a book version of something into a movie, or in this case, history into a movie, there's going to be a lot of that. Like they focused a lot on the sort of communist links that he had, and it kept coming up and up and up in the movie where you're just like, yeah, we get it. Like we get it. But it was such a big deal. I don't know. It was such a big deal. One of the points that it sort of makes, that Oppenheimer makes in the movie as the character, is he said, aren't we allied with the Russians to beat the Germans? Like, what are we doing? Because they compartmentalized everything. Obviously, the whole creation of the A-bomb was a very big secret.
Mm.
They had to do that. But they weren't sharing with one of their allies, right?
Mm.
Which kicked off the Cold War. People building bigger and crazier bombs, things to kill each other with, right? It's great.
Mm.
Tech innovation.
It was interesting. You're right. It just felt like he was following the historical. It was very educational.
I agree. I know 25% more about that stuff than I did before.
Yeah. And so my wife went to see Barbie that night as well.
Yep.
And she came and picked me up after the movie. And I said I liked it, but you don't worry about going see it. It's not really her kind of thing. It's just not that sort of really heavy, like dense history and those kind of issues. Just she's not really that fussed about it. And she said the same thing. She was like, "Oh, yeah, Barbie was fine, but you don't need to go see it." She knows what I like. You know, I know what she likes. So we've divided and conquered.
Right.
I mean,
you don't know anything about the Barbie movie then?
No, I don't. No, I think I saw a trailer.
But with Oppenheimer, I will say this. I think my eardrums have permanent damage. The first sort of 10 minutes of the movie is Oppenheimer time traveling in his chair, just in a bath or whatever, just staring off into space, imagining fission, I think, where it goes into his brain and he's just seeing stars imploding and it's fucking loud. And I don't know if the cinema just popped the volume too loud or if Nolan was trying to make up for Tenet where people thought, man, you can't understand anything these characters are saying because the sound mix is so bad. He just went, fuck yous, fucking turn it up to 11 and blast these people's eardrums into oblivion. Did you have the same thing?
Oh, it was huge. I could feel it in my soul. And I'm surprised there wasn't an epilepsy warning early on.
There probably was.
I think it gave me epilepsy. Can you like get epilepsy from watching something?
I think you can.
Can I acquire the illness?
You just pick
the ailment.
So that was fun watching him trying to be a normal person, but also imagining the craziest shit ever. And is the likeness of the sun imploding as he was talking about, where the gravity pulls. It starts pulling the light in or something. It starts...
Well, becoming a black hole, yes.
Yeah, and he was trying to prove that or something early in the movie.
I don't know. Apparently he is well known for actually having a lot of good physics and making some progress with black holes prior to the atom bomb program.
Yeah. Do you think they're linked?
Well, they're both... physics at their extremes, aren't they, in some ways?
It's just, I've said it before, but the A-bomb represents just a gnarly leap forward in what we were doing to destroy each other up until that point.
A quantum leap of energy production.
Yeah. Yes.
Rapid energy release.
Yes. And they do sort of go a lot into like the justification of why America did it, why they decided it was the right thing, the best course of action, right? To save lives that would have been lost in the Pacific if they had to invade Japan or whatever, which was the plan, I guess. Yeah, and there is a scene where Oppenheimer meets with President Truman, and this is all real, apparently this happened. He met with the president and said, I don't feel good about, this thing. Or he just said, I've got blood on my hands, right? And Truman apparently gave him a handkerchief and said, essentially, paraphrasing, bro, I've got way more blood on my hands than you, pal. You made the thing. I dropped it.
Yeah, so, I made the kill decision. You just did you just enabled me.
Work. Yeah. And he left the office and Truman said something like, get that fucking pansy out of my office, essentially.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't fly today. But holy shit. Crazy story. I've got a theory on what the movie's about.
Oh, really?
Yeah?
Tell me your theory.
Themes and whatnot.
I thought it was just a biopic about Oppenheimer.
Yeah. On the surface, it absolutely is just a straight narrative of the guy's life, right?
Underneath, it's an LSD trip. Yeah, okay. What's going on?
I think that the move, how Inception, have you seen Inception?
Yes.
Another Nolan film, which goes about representing various aspects of filmmaking. So in the when they're making dreams, they're making movies. You've
Yeah.
got your director, who's Leonardo DiCaprio. You've got your set builder, which is Elliot Page, because they can build the environment.
Yes.
Then you've got your actor, Tom Hardy. Then you've got your, all your other jobs. They sort of all represent parts of filmmaking, right? So
Okay.
I wouldn't put it past Nolan to be making another thing. I mean, sometimes, you're just watching a movie, But yeah. This is, I'm going off the deep end on this one.
Yeah, what's he up to?
Well, I think that the creation of the nuke, the science, the building of it, Nolan's saying that that's him. He created a nuke.
Oh,
a filmmaking
a box office nuke.
A filmmaking nuke, yes.
A filmmaking nuke. What's a filmmaking nuke? Oh, the film is the... Sorry, continue.
No. Oppenheimer, the film, is not the nuke, right? He has already nuked. They've nuked with the Dark Knight trilogy, the Batman movies. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises or something.
Massive.
The third one.
Massive energy release associated with those movies.
Yes, into the filmmaking world.
Okay.
Because he made superhero movies gritty and cool instead of really lame and boring, right?
Okay.
Which is what they were becoming. He changed the game.
So that's the atom bomb.
That's the A-bomb.
The A-bomb.
And the nuclear... Because at the end... towards the end of the movie, Oppenheimer has sort of a vision of the future and it's just nukes going off everywhere. Because he said, we make a nuke, but then someone makes a bigger one, H-bomb, and then someone makes a bigger one, and then someone makes a bigger one. It's just resetting the playing field where it's, this is what we use now, So he just saw Armageddon, right? Not the movie with Bruce Willis. He saw the end of the world, right? That's the same thing I'm doing with this because he spun off the Marvel McCoo cinematic universe and the DC EU, with his success in the Batman
Nolan.
movies.
So you reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, really? So he's
Nolan, is Oppenheimer, and the nuke is
the Batman.
Is the Batman movies and the competition, the Soviets, if you like, in this case, is your Marvels, who are going
fucking commie
about
bastards
creating a filmic Armageddon.
Oh God, yeah, they must be stopped.
Yeah, with the constant upping and upping and upping of the movies. There's something like 37 Marvel movies, right? There's 3 Nolan Batmans and there's 40 odd.
Are they using these nukes on the public, or are they just testing? Oh my God!
Well, I think they were on the public. This is what I'm talking about. This is the future that Oppenheimer saw. The nuclear disaster.
The Marvel versus DC.
What are we at? 1 minute to midnight? Are we at 1 minute to midnight with the doomsday clock? Do they say we're half a millisecond? Where are we at on the doomsday clock? It
is a fucking Armageddon.
So
he must be stopped. Well, no. Well, someone must be stopped.
No, it's too late. It's too late. We're witnessing it. No, don't get me wrong. No one's going to die. We're just witnessing a filmic Armageddon. No one's actually going to die. It's all good. It's cool, man. You just can watch Indiana Jones movies from the 1970s and 80s, and you'll be fine. Like, it's all good. It's all good.
I'm looking at a picture of the actual Oppenheimer at the moment. I just want to get a list of the bombs because a list of the biggest bombs because I'm sure we've looked at this before, or at least I've looked at it before.
Sure. We definitely
want a list of nuclear explosions because it's actually it's hard to comprehend just how big the modern hydrogen bombs are.
Well, yeah,
relative to what was used on.
Yeah, obviously. It's we haven't dropped one since 1945 or whatever on a city, right? So given that, there's still been years, decades of work in the field. So you can only imagine how wild
the
it
US
is.
has done 1,000 tests.
Yeah. There's about 3,700 tests total worldwide, I reckon. A lot in our backyard.
2,000. Tests, apparently. What I love is Pakistan's done 2. That's all they needed. They did one. They were like, yeah, looks good. Let's just do one more to make sure. And they're like, yeah, we're good to go. We're good to roll here.
We've got them. But that was the whole point, right? That countries were proving that they had them because to be a deterrent. Hey, we've got them.
Okay, so the first one on this list is 61. And it's a yield of 50 megatons. It doesn't have what Hiroshima here was on here, but is that the biggest one that's ever gone off? Oh, the SAR bomb.
The SAR.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So there was the SAR bomb, and there was another one that was double.
So that was in 60. That was in 61. Like, what are you doing with that, mate? I don't know what you've got there. Nothing yet. Hold on. What are you even doing? Yeah. I think there's food in there. So that was in 61, man. And that's the biggest? Imagine what we could do now.
Yeah, but there's been programs, right, to sort of not build them anymore, right?
Yeah, sort of anti-nuclear proliferation movements. But that's 50, right? The next biggest ever was 24.
Megatons.
The top five.
Yeah, that's what I said before.
The biggest one.
It's the SAR bomb, and then it's double that for the big boy.
Shit. The biggest one the USA's ever detonated apparently was 15 megatons. So we're dealing with, I think now that we know that we've got it, but no one's, obviously if you don't want to explode something, you have to have a real reason to pop something big as the SAR bomb, don't you?
Yeah. So they're still doing tests.
Are they? I thought they'd sort of given up on that.
No.
Yeah. So where do they do that? You were saying Australia?
Well, there were some in the middle of Australia. Yep. Nevada cops a few. The Pacific Islands.
Do you know
they moved a whole bunch of people off an island because they're like, we're going to do a bomb here and it's going to be the greatest thing ever. And they sell it to them by saying it's going to be the greatest thing ever. So they move them to another island, blow up the island, they do it in the water. And the fallout fucking went over to their island.
Oh.
The new one. Yeah. Soz.
I mean, that was always when you dabble with fire. The Soviet Union has conducted 3 live nuclear torpedo tests. That sounds fun. A nuclear torpedo. Oof. Yeah, anyway, I don't like to think about it. It is pretty bleak. What is incredible is Oppenheimer was worried about the proliferation of nuclear warfare.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was, right?
Yeah.
It seemed inevitable.
But they're still building the bomb with all haste. You know what I mean? At the same time.
Yes. And look where we are. Who would have thought 2023, no nuclear bombs have been detonated in...
Yeah, probably in part to a lot about what he said and the way it all went down, obviously. But yes, you're right. It's not nuclear Armageddon yet.
Yeah, it's impressive. We've actually done quite well. I mean, we can't pat ourselves on the back, but...
Yeah, I mean, if I'm 3,500 years deep into a Civ 5 game, yeah, Civ 6 or whatever, people get nuked, right? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I've got the materials.
And you're worried about them getting nukes, right? You're worried about Gandhi getting nukes. He nukes everyone.
Yeah.
Do you know they wrote that into his code? The Gandhi... is it Gandhi, the leader of India in Civ 6?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, they've written into his code a tendency to use nukes. So he's more likely to use nukes. So he'll be peaceful with you the whole way through. He's got like a bit of a peace. In his traits, he also has like a peaceful side. So he basically will be friends with you. His aim is to make it to late game and nuke up.
Oh, shit. Gandhi is actually one of the most peaceful leaders in Civ 5, but his artificial intelligence parameters that control building and using of nuclear weapons have the value of 12, which is the highest of any leader. The next 3 leaders have a value of 8, and most leaders have between 4 and 6. There's a Wikipedia called Nuclear Gandhi. Oh, my God. Oh no, it's not. It's just a part of the game. Oh my God, that's crazy.
But I mean, we're sort of killing ourselves. We don't need the nukes. Have you heard about these climate records tumbling? Again, I touched on this last week. I think I've clicked on something and now BBC News thinks I'm really worried about the Earth getting hotter.
Right.
Have you seen any articles about climate records tumbling?
Oh no, just the stuff that would just naturally permeate through the infosphere. I haven't seen anything recently.
I hear that we've broken a couple of records. The hottest day on record.
Let's go, Earth. What is it?
Well, last week, the hottest day on record.
Right, that's not good.
The hottest June on record globally.
Yep.
I don't know how this is a record. Extreme marine heat waves.
Marine heat waves. That doesn't sound fun. Okay. What
and
else?
Record low Antarctic sea ice.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, it doesn't look good.
No. Is your point there that we're worried about nuclear Armageddon when we should be worried about things that are actually happening right now?
Yeah, we're just in the slow nuclear death. We're currently just slowly heading towards the same outcome as, at least with a nuclear Armageddon, if everyone just launches, we kind of all go down pretty quickly, pretty painlessly. This is going to be, what will happen is, what happens as things continue to get hotter? Let's just assume they keep getting hotter, right? So obviously sea levels rise. But I mean, that's going to be gradual as anything, isn't it? Like how much? I live on a hill.
Sure.
Like
it's the irreversible nature of it, right? That's the scary part, right? You can't pop the ice back, or can we? Can we pop the ice back?
Maybe very slowly.
Yeah.
Get a big...
Start driving ice blocks out to the South Pole.
Well, what we need to do is export heat from the Earth, right? That sounds simple enough, doesn't it? That's how a refrigerator works. You're exporting heat from the inside to the outside. So
we need some air conditioning up in this bitch.
Or maybe some big heat coils, right, that go up into space. We have some liquid. We have liquid that goes through the tubes up into space and super chills. And then it comes back down and it comes into Earth and it starts heating up, absorbing all the heat gets sucked into this liquid. And then it goes back up into outer space. Right. You see where I'm going with this, and the cycle continues. And we're all hunky-dory.
What are we exporting? Water?
Heat.
In the form of what?
Well, it's like the same way.
Because do we need any of that? Whatever we're doing.
Well, there's just fluid in the pipes. We're not going to lose the fluid. We're keeping the fluid, but it's going to it's exporting the heat in the sense that it gets hotter when it comes in nice and cool to the Earth, heats up, so absorbing heat.
But is the world still going to get hotter and hotter?
No, because the heat. Well, if we have enough of the fluid,
right?
Yeah,
we have to keep building these things, though. That's what you're saying.
Well, once we build one big one, that's all we need. So the same way a refrigerator works, it's got piping,
radiator on the back.
Yeah, and so it sends in some substance that absorbs the heat, and then it comes onto the outside and it releases the heat, and it just keeps doing that. Just keeps sucking the heat out of the system.
All right, so that's a good idea. We should write that down. Someone should write that down.
To be honest, I haven't fully thought it through.
No, but just have they thought about popping a coil up? That's just a good question to ask. Maybe they haven't thought of that. Maybe they go, that is a pretty great idea. Yeah. Watching scientists in Oppenheimer sit around a room just like staring off into the abyss, just figuring out crazy shit, makes me think that someone's working on the coil, right? If they're not working on the coil, they're working on some other kind of, heat dissipation.
Oh, we should hope so, shouldn't we? The things people work on, though, Tupac, the Tupac murder. Did you think that was case closed?
What do you mean?
As in, that was a cold case. That was an unsolved crime. Do you think anyone's still working on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still chipping away at it. Apparently, Nevada police have confirmed that they've served a search warrant just last week in connection with that unsolved death.
Wow. That is pretty wild. There hasn't been many developments in the last 10 or so years. But there's been some good TV series about it.
Case. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously it's all like, yeah, it does seem like we don't really know the whole thing yet, right?
No. So they carried out a search of her home. I ask, what are they looking for?
Yeah. 20 years later, 30 years later. How long ago was that? 25 years?
96 or something.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Here it is. Found it.
I mean, the smoking gun is, well, I mean, there may be some kind of item they can. There is no literal smoking gun. It's been too long. It's cold now.
Crazy.
I didn't know Tupac was 25 when he got shot.
That is very young.
I assumed he was just a bit older. You know, that's crazy considering how old we are.
It is.
Would you rather be Tupac, live Tupac's life?
Yep.
He got big in 91, so he got big when he was maybe 20.
Yep.
4 or 5 years at the top.
Yep.
You're bashing out California Love.
Yep.
Changes.
Yep.
And then you get shot 4 times at a traffic light. Would you,
or
would you be Val?
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
You're talking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're older than he was. Yeah. You know what you've done. I don't need to tell you what your life is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll do that one.
Well, you're really choosing to burn hot and short or just, be normal.
Yeah. Look, I'll take it. I'll take it. And the good thing is I can actually have that.
Yeah.
So that's a dream I can live.
Did you hear about this US soldier that disappeared into North Korea?
Yeah, he ran across the border
from
South Korea, right?
When I first read the article, I was like, what a fucking idiot. I thought he was goofing around and he just got...
You don't goof around at the DMZ. That's one of the rules they tell you at the DMZ. They say don't mess around. In fact, don't even look at over there because if you look over there, we could have World War III on our hands. So just calm the fuck down. No one's having a goof at the DMZ, man.
Well, that's why I thought he was such an idiot. Then I heard he was a US Army soldier and I was like, mate, they are going to be spewing
over his head at the time. He was being disciplined on something. And he just bounced.
He just bounced. So apparently they were disciplining him. They were giving him all discipline, right?
Yeah. And
they were shipping him out. They were going to ship him out.
Yeah.
And then he went through security at the airport. The next thing they know, he somehow found his way onto a tour of the DMZ. And then
he's just tagging along for the tour.
He's just tagging along. I don't know how he got, he probably just bought a ticket or whatever. I don't know. I don't think he was obviously not being monitored. They just assumed he was going to get on this flight.
Yeah.
And then apparently he just started laughing on this tour and then just disappeared across into some other buildings or something along that nature. And they were all looking at each other thinking that he was having a goof, even though you're not supposed to, right?
Yeah, no goofing allowed.
No goofing allowed. Yeah, they got it up in big letters.
They do tell you the rules.
So is he defecting? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
He's going the wrong way. He's like a salmon swimming upstream. Everyone's trying to get out of that place and he's like, no, maybe it's for me.
So he went now.
Tours. Yeah, what happens now? I mean, they're going to be pumping him for information. He's a US soldier.
Yeah.
And they'll use him for propaganda to say how good they are because they'll be like, mate, look, they're all coming our way. We've got Joe Bloggs here. Wait, what's his name? We got his name.
Travis King.
Private second class Travis King. Been in the Army 2 years. So he was on this tour in Panmunjom. Apparently it's a town. I just want to look into it. It's a town on the in the DMZ that's unpopulated. See what we go here. The village just north of the de facto border between North and South Korea, where the 1953 Korean Armistice Agreement that ended the Korean War was signed.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's like
Apparently,
a building.
Yeah, okay. Apparently they're still at war because an armistice isn't an ending of the war. I think it's like a ceasefire.
Seems like that. I mean, at the border, they're sort of looking at each other.
So the DMZ is the most heavily fortified areas in the world. Filled with landmines.
Yeah, that's why running across is like really scary.
Yeah, you think that you might get shot, right? You might think that you start moving towards that thing. I'm sure they've got shoot to kill type orders.
Yeah, and shoot people who are trying to escape as well. Because that happened about 10 years ago as well. A person ran across from north to south and was getting just peppered.
Now, what a place. North Korea adds a lot of flavour to the world, right? You know when you're making a meal and you have to add bits and pieces to make
and
it
you
kind
want
of
just a little bit of spice.
Yeah, they're just like this spice that you go, how can they do that? They're so different from all the other countries. They've got, I mean, yeah, it's not a good thing. It's horrible. It's a terrible, terrible place. But I mean,
so we know, as we know,
well, as I'm led to believe,
and probably truly.
But how about the balls, like on the leadership to continue with this?
It's pretty wild.
It's so wild.
But it's so hard. No information gets in there. So whatever you believe as a kid is what you believe as an adult, and you're screwed, basically.
Can they stop that information flow completely, though? Aren't things getting... Because there's people on the outside that are trying to...
yeah, but like their propaganda machine's pretty strong.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it's sort of... like, if you wanted to be the North Korean propaganda guy... you'd just be like, look at these guys lecturing us on how the world works, and just, I don't know, run through America's top 10. And, there are people who are doing it tough in America as well. Like there's really poor people, tough lives, and they could point to that and go like, hey, they think it's not a Hollywood. It's not Hollywood. It's not roses and good times. It's bad times. Look. So both propaganda machines are working pretty hard against each other, as they always are.
But ordinarily what happens is if you have enough poor people, they rise up and there's a revolution. They remove the powers that be.
I don't know if that's when you have more poor people, man. I think it's more when the middle class rises, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's as the middle class gets
really
eroded.
Poor,
I guess I'm referring to middle class becoming lower class. As the wealth starts pooling in fewer and fewer people at the top, and you don't have a middle class, eventually, you need the middle class to rise up. Yeah. You just got to keep the middle class happy, right? You can handle some upset people. But it's weird, it just doesn't happen there. They don't have a culture for it. There's no information. Maybe people look at other countries that have revolutions. Like France is having revolutions like, they riot every second day of the week.
Well, I'm pretty sure they invented them.
Yeah. How many riots? They were probably just riding the Tour de France. I mean, a Frenchman didn't win it. France
there was a riot not too long ago when they tried to raise the retirement age by a few years, and people just went, fucking no way.
That's just going to keep happening, isn't it? What do you reckon the retirement age will be when we retire?
Probably like 110.
I reckon.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll make retirement.
But we'll still have 40 good years, man.
I'm never going to see my super.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. You'd probably could draw a pretty sweet line graph of where it's gone. Like, what's the youngest it's ever been?
Mate, the French pension reform strikes were due to a planned raise in retirement age from 62 to 64. That's pretty young, isn't it? What's our retirement age? We should be protesting. They've got it going on there. They know it. 67 here. Get out in the streets. This is...
Yeah.
They're retirement 62. I'm almost retirement age.
62. I want to see where it's been. Like, how has it moved over time? I want to know, I need to see a graph.
What, for the French retirement age?
Oh, no. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, no, that's life expectancy. That's not what I want. Oh, yeah, here we go. Before 1960, July 1960, it was 55. Then it went to 56, like a year later.
Oh.
57, 58, 59, 60. That doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't that make sense? Sorry, what was the last?
It just keeps going up by a year.
See, then that's what they do, right? Every year you put it up by a year, no one gets it.
Yeah, crazy.
So the latest protest was the Nal Mezouk protests and unrest after the killing of a teenager by police near Paris. I see how much they protested that one.
They did, yeah.
Geez, there were 2 deaths in the protest. I mean, there was only 1 death in the event.
That's not the point, is it?
Holy shit. Injuries, 808 officers.
Oh my God.
Civil not determined. That's pretty hectic, isn't it?
It's pretty wild, but this is it.
But yeah, you keep the authorities accountable with stuff like that, right? $650 million of damage. That is an absolutely that's a stimmy for the economy.
It's pretty bad.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, that's what you want, right? Okay. Protesting should be, they need to make it so you can't really do much damage, but you can get really crazy. So whether you wear
they want to do damage
suits,
though. They want to do damage.
We've got to find a happy balance between, not hurting people, maybe not doing too much property damage, but you're out and about having a great time. You're getting your heart rate up.
Right, getting some exercise, right?
Yeah. So fat suits, I reckon. Everyone puts on fat suits.
Yeah.
Those
to what?
Just bounce around. You bounce right into Parliament. Can you imagine just being a big beefcake, just bouncing around in there? Like, you're not causing that much damage.
But they want to cause damage again.
But it has the same effect.
No.
Because if they can't get anything done because there's all these guys in fat suits bouncing around, right, it'll have the same impact. Everyone, because they want to get the message out, right? They protest so you go, 3,500 people are arrested. They don't like what's going on. We've got to do something about it. I'm just saying, if you had, 1,000 people bouncing around in fat suits in the Pentagon or something,
Jesus,
that could actually cause some change.
Okay.
You got to believe.
No.
You got to believe. Is Trump going to jail? I can't keep up.
I haven't Googled him in weeks. I assume if there's any big developments, I'll know about it, right? I haven't heard anything.
Oh, I heard he expects to be arrested. What was it? Trump expects to be arrested by a federal inquiry into the US Capitol riot and efforts to challenge the 2020 election result. But that could just be Trump leveraging the media again.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything.
When
was that? That was weeks ago.
No, that was just last week, I think. Would be Trump's third alleged criminal offence. So the other one's 37 counts of mishandling classified documents in the old bathroom. And then there's the other
everywhere. They were everywhere. Boxes everywhere. Yeah. in the
And
hallways.
The first one was falsifying business records for those 2016 payments.
Stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, we need to get a Truth Social account just to stay on top of things.
What, just so we can hear straight from the dumpster's mouth?
Yeah. I wonder how Truth Social's going. Is it so? It's just,
I don't know. Isn't there a few? There's a few ones now.
Oh, is there?
But did Trump make that one?
I think so.
Ugh.
Social media platform created by Trump Media and Technology Group.
Ugh.
A Twitter clone. I wonder how many users they've got. I mean, you think that's got to be a dying...
It says 1.7 million visitors from the United States in September 2022. Launched February 2022. So that was 9 months after 1.7 million visitors in September. So I don't know what that means, but that's all it says under users on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Hey, one thing that we stopped doing was following stars on Mars.
Oh, are you back?
I mean,
on?
you didn't. No, you didn't even watch one, did you?
I tried.
No,
Couldn't
don't.
find it.
It's no good. It's no good.
It's no
I only
good.
watched one. I can tell you what I know about it now.
Oh.
So I watched one episode. Guess who got voted out?
I'm guessing by the way you're talking. Was it Rhonda?
It was McLovin.
Oh no, not McLovin.
I was gutted.
So give me the setup for it. What happened? Did he have to? Did they? What? Who decides who's up for a limb?
Oh, well, okay. So the Marshawn Lynch was he was voted by his peers to be the commander of this mission.
Right, commander.
And I think you commander for 2 days, and you get your own bed and stuff like that, other perks. And you're in the control room, and you're communicating with all your team about what's going on, and you're getting instructions from, I don't know, you're getting the mission fed to you. Then, so there was 2 people. There was Marshawn Lynch was the commander, and then he had some deputy, some other chick. And the other 10 were outside trying to fix this antenna that had apparently come down in the storm or
Wasn't
whatever.
this episode 1?
Yeah, it's episode 1.
We've talked about episode 1.
We did, but I didn't tell you. Did you watch till the end though? Because
no.
Did you know you didn't know who went? Right? I'm pretty sure.
No, I didn't even understand the process, to be honest. Yeah. No, I still
Okay.
don't. But
So
okay,
they're
doing the antenna fix in the red dirt, and it's fucking flying up everywhere, right?
Yes. And McLovin, to be honest, doesn't do too much. But there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of hands on this job, right? So there's also, you don't kind of just want to get in there
Too
and be
many
like,
cooks.
Yeah, everyone step aside. Like I'm gonna. They're onto it. So he's just kind of hanging out, having a good time. There's 1 or 2 people other hanging out, some figure skater or something, just having a good time.
Also, really just can't get their hands in there because there's too many people already doing stuff. Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's going to rub people the wrong way if you come in and just sort of all of a sudden take control.
Sure.
Then when you come back to the inside, Marshawn Lynch had to decide which 3 people were not mission critical.
All right, so McLovin's up.
McLovin's up, the figure skater.
Ice skater's up, right.
Yeah, and someone else that I don't know who he was. And then you have to plead your case. You're all on the other side of the airlock. Everyone else is inside, and then you're still on the other side of the airlock. And then you have to plead your case. And McLovin didn't really make a good case. I think he said that there were a lot of people out there.
Yep.
And he did his best.
So he told the truth.
Yeah, something like that. But
he got airlocked.
Well, they moved on to the next one, and they said, "What do you do?" Or why are you mission critical? And there's the figure skater, and he says that he is the best looking person of the lot. That he's incredibly good looking, and that he's essential.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then the other guy pointed out that he actually did something. He did an important step of connecting to like hooks or something together.
Well done.
Yeah, and he
did the hooks.
He did that. And so they let him in. They realised that. And then they decided that they needed the looks and that McLovin wasn't mission critical.
Oh, my God. They voted based on what he said instead of the truth, which was there was too many hands in there and I couldn't be asked.
I know. It was sad.
That's really sad.
But what's even more sad is during the episode, McLovin's talking to Marshall and Lynch and he's saying how it's really hard. He's never been able to outgrow this role. He's always been McLovin.
Right.
And it's understandable. You can understand that. And Marshall and Lynch tells him, oh, yeah, your name's good and everything, but I want to call you McLovin because...
Oh, right. No.
So he just keeps going McLovin.
Oh, that's awful. The guy feels typecast and you're calling him by a character he played 17 years ago or something.
What's his actual name again? I want to use it.
I think his name is McLovin.
No, his actual...
I don't know what his name is.
No, you knew it. You picked it, McLovin.
No, I didn't know.
Because I can't keep calling him McLovin. I'm doing the same...
You're doing the same thing. It's only because we don't know his real name.
It's not Fogel. It's Christopher Mintz Plus.
Okay, can we call him Fogel?
Mintz. Why has he got... Okay, let's call him Fogel. So Fogel... Because he was young when he did that role in Superbad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
but there's a problem though because he iconically says the words "I am McLovin," so he's gonna carry that forever.
I was having a look. So he's done Superbad. He did Superbad and Role Models, and that's where he had the quote about the whispering eye, which is also one of his greatest achievements. I'm not sure if you recall that, but he's telling within Role Models, he's like he's young, he's like 16 or something. And then he's hanging out with a cooler older dude and he's giving him some relationship advice. The guy's talking to his girlfriend or a girl he likes on the phone or something. And he tells him, tell her you want to see a whispering eye or something like that. And eventually he doesn't know what, and he backs it in and then he goes, whispering eye's vagina. And he thinks it's hilarious. But the amount of times I've heard people talk about a whispering eye, it's just become one of those cultural moments like McLovin. It's a classic Fogel McLovin quote, even though he wasn't Fogel or McLovin at the time. But then he's done nothing since then, right? If you look at his list, that's it. He's trying. So since 2007 with Superbad, 2008 with Role Models, and then it's garbage. Absolute garbage.
What do you mean garbage? Like
just
roles?
Nothing. Yeah, no. Tell me if you've heard of any of these. Year One, The Tale of RJ, Kick-Ass, How to Train Your Dragon.
Kick-Ass is big.
Is it?
How to Train Your Dragon's big.
Okay. Marmaduke. Man, Marmaduke. I once had a dream that there was this blue big wombat thing called a marmosaur.
You had a dream that there was a marmosaur. So in the dream you got told what they are and that they're marmosaurs, or marmosaurs are real things?
I understood it to be a marmosaur. And when I woke up, I remembered at work and I was like, holy shit, is a marmosaur a real thing? Because I think I've taught myself something in a dream. But unfortunately, it was not.
No. Or is it?
Well, it may exist somewhere and we just haven't found it yet. If it does come up, it should be called a marmosaur. So it's like Fatso the Wombat, but blue.
Yeah, nice.
Couple more movies. Legend of the Bone Napper Dragon.
Never heard of it.
Fright Night, Gift of the Fright Night, Book of Dragons. He loves the dragons.
Yep. So he's got work. He's just not getting big roles either. He's probably not playing a main role in Year One, which was I think that was Jack Black and Michael Cera in Year One. It was about it was essentially a combat spoof of cavemen movies. I don't know. Yeah, no, that's a shame.
So he's just trying to make it in this world.
What happened? Yeah, so what happened though? Because it's still. They said, sorry, McLovin, you got to go.
Yeah, that was it, and now he's out. So the poor bloke is just trying to make a name for himself, doing, low. I'd say this is relatively low level work. Get your name out there, get your face out there, maybe get another role, and he gets voted off in week 1 of Stars on Mars.
It's pretty brutal, but maybe it's better than going all the way to the end.
I'm going to find out who won.
Oh, really? We're going for it?
Yeah, we're going for it. Okay.
Oh, no, it's still going.
It's still going, but I can tell you who's been eliminated.
Yep.
I don't know many of them. Okay, first one, Christopher Mintz-Plasse,
McLovin.
a.k.a. Fogel. Tallulah Willis,
Right. Who's she again?
daughter of Bruce and Demi Moore.
That's right. Yep.
Richard Sherman, he's an NFL cornerback. He's actually teammates with Marshawn Lynch. Yeah.
If you scroll down,
Yeah.
if you scroll down on this page, see where it says episodes? See, it says episode 1, the experiment begins.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Marshawn Lynch, base commander, extracted Christopher Mintz-Plasse McLovin because he ultimately failed to contribute to the mission. That's what it says on his. That's what it says.
That is the record of his involvement with this thing.
Not great. But hey, in the mission, raise the communication satellite tower and connect to the incoming satellite. Result, mission success. All right, so well done. All right.
Oh,
now, the
mate,
next one.
This is delicious, right? Let me just tell you. So Tallulah Willis was the backup to Marshawn Lynch. She was the backup. She's called
Base
mission
commander,
specialist.
right.
So your base commander was Marshawn Lynch. I said there was some other chick that was his deputy. Yeah, she was deputy. So then she got promoted to base commander. She took Marshawn Lynch's job. And then she was the one extracted because of her poor performance as base commander, causing the team to fail. Maybe I do need to watch this.
So the mission was collect and fill 4 barrels of water from a cave. Now that sounds pretty tough. Result, mission failure. She was extracted because of her poor performance as base commander, resulting in the team failing the mission. Wow.
So now, do you want to be base commander or not?
It's sort of like being the project manager in The Apprentice. If you do well, it's all good, like you're safe. But if you fail, it's bad news bears.
Okay, fire in the hole. Mission 3.
Go.
Base commander, Tanashi.
Okay, she's the base commander now.
Yeah, and why has she only got one name? She's a singer-songwriter. She's a Cher type.
Yep. Beyonce, Cher, Tanashi.
Okay, so the mission was to repair a hole in the biodome caused by an explosion, then replant and fertilize the damaged crops.
Wait, who's the mission specialist on this? Because that's important. You need a good mission specialist for something like this, repairing a hole in a biodome caused by an explosion.
Ariel Winter.
Ariel Winter is the mission specialist.
An actress, starred as Alex Dunphy in the ABC comedy series Modern Family.
Oh, right. Yeah, she's one of the kids in Modern Family. Okay. Extracted Richard Sherman because he began to feel isolated and stated that the other 2 least critical mission critical celebrities were better suited for the experiment than him. So he basically was up there with 2 other people and said, look, I'm done. Get me the fuck out of here. Right?
That's a shame because he's got his teammate in Marshawn Lynch. He's coming in with a best friend.
Oh. And he says, nah, I've had a gutful.
Yeah, it sounds a bit.
Now here's the big one. The next episode, Ronda Rousey is the base commander. Whew.
And she is in the David Bowie mission, Life on Mars.
Wow. Ariel Winter returning as mission specialist.
They kept her on. The mission. God. Find 2 mother fungus spawn points in a dark cave. Destroy them with a flamethrower.
Wow.
Then reconnect to backup oxygen and the rovers. Whew.
Did they get on all right?
Success.
Rhonda. Getting it done.
Man, find 2 mother fungus spawn points.
Dude, she was all over that and she got the flamethrowers out. Oh, my God. That's amazing.
So who got extracted in that one?
Natasha Leggero, because she requested to be voted off after struggling with the conditions, and Tom Schwartz because the group believed he would be less beneficial to save than Adam Rippon. So 2 people got extracted from the airlock. Jesus.
Oh, okay. So Natasha Leggero is a comedian. I actually recall her from the first one. She wasn't that funny. And Tom Schwartz, because the group believed he would be less beneficial to save. And Adam Rippon's the beautiful man.
Oh, right. And he gets a kick in the next episode as the base commander. Jeez.
They went for this must be Portia Williams. She was my pick to win it.
Really? And she's the mission specialist on
She's
this
the
one.
mission specialist. First time her name's cropped up, forgot she was
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Safely
She's been hanging out,
dispose,
doing a job. Yep.
Safely dispose of 2 nuclear canisters and save the four new. What? Save the 4 new.
That makes no sense. Who wrote this?
And no one was extracted. Wow. Okay. Well,
I
maybe
think
they're running out of
They had
people.
2 last week because someone said that at a gutful and they still extracted Tom Schwartz as well. So there you go. No one got extracted, but they would have hammed it up like someone was going home and then they would have been like, the airlock's jammed. Congratulations.
Now, do you remember how Rio lost that radioactive capsule
Yeah, I remember that.
on the side of the highway, and there was this big manhunt to find this little thing
20-cent piece sort of sized thing. Yep.
over the course of thousands of kilometres? Could be
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
They're not getting fined for that apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've just recently apparently they're going to avoid a fine.
Oh, good.
I mean, you got to handle these nuclear components with a little bit of. Yeah, Rio can handle a fine, right?
Apparently not, man.
Pop a fine on them. You got to teach all those other radioactive capsule companies. They
It
can't
is a
just
pretty
be,
isolated incident, right? That doesn't really happen all that often, but yes.
I just want someone's got to pay.
Yeah, and they found it at the northern end, right? Only like 15 kilometers from where it left.
Sounds right. Sounds about right.
Yeah, but it was a bit of a hot story.
Okay, then the last one, leaks in the. I thought it said leaks in the lab. I thought we had a Wuhan on our hands. Extracted Ashley Iaconetti because she lay down during the mission, leading the group to believe she wasn't willing to contribute. See, laying down during the mission, that sounds a bit lazy.
Wow. You get ejected for that these days. Yeah? Yeah?
Apparently, you had to create a substance to patch up the holes.
Right, and she just had a bit of a lie down.
It seems to be reasonably popular. It's 1.3 million US viewers on the first episode, and it's always hovered around the 1 mil.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good numbers. I'm not sure.
That doesn't sound very good, actually. If there's 400 million people in the US, and I mean, I was one of those people with a VPN saying I was in the US watching the first episode. So, I mean,
yeah, but just to give you some context, I've just pulled up the numbers for the Bachelorette American season.
Oh, shit, yeah.
2000 and I don't know, whatever the fuck this is. And they're going 20 million for the first episode.
Okay.
7, 11, 9, 7, 11, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, 8, 8. So, yeah. Oh, wait, that must be for the whole season. Oh, yeah. I need to go into here. Sorry. Let's do that one more time. US 17, 17, 13, 14, 17, 17, 20. That's season 1 of The Bachelorette. Season 1. Because that's what you compared Life on Mars to, because it never happened before.
Stars on Mars.
And here's the new one, right? So
Yeah.
season, whatever the fuck we're up to, which is 20.
20?
Average US viewers.
Shit.
1.92 million for the first one. 1.77 million for the second one.
It's really dropped off. So you're saying Stars on Mars has almost exceeded.
I think it's doing well
yeah.
on that metric.
Yeah,
but, it's all about streaming services nowadays, so it's hard to compare things from 20 seasons ago. But, yes, I'd say the streaming services have a lot to do with that.
That one that just got voted off, the last woman that got voted off from Stars on Mars, Ashley.
Yeah, I had a look.
Iaconetti.
Yep.
Apparently she's from The Bachelor. She's the Bachelor star.
That's what got me onto The Bachelor, because I was on Ashley's page, and I just went, including The Bachelor, and I just clicked on it.
Okay.
That's how I got there.
She has been on the Bachelor television franchise, including The Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, and The Bachelor Winter Games.
What's the Bachelor Winter Games? That's the one that interests me the most. Like Bachelor in Paradise, I get it. You just pop them on a nicer place or a nice island or some shit.
It's probably just in winter. It's literally probably just The Bachelor with ice hockey. It's just gonna be in a colder climate. She was the relationship winner.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It says on
What does relationship winner mean?
She won a relationship.
Oh, that's just great. Couldn't be happier for you on the success of your relationships.
And then she went to Mars. Hey, I was supposed to go to that show by Kirin Callinan on the weekend.
I
It
know.
cancelled. I'm so butthurt about it.
Oh, you got sick and couldn't go?
No, he got sick. I was fine. He was sick.
He got sick, yeah.
Cancelled the show.
Cancelled it.
I have a funny feeling that there weren't a lot of people going, and he may have just decided it was easier just to not go. Because I had a quick look. I didn't see a lot of interest in the Mojo's Facebook event for that.
What are you talking about?
I think it said
the
0
Mojo's
people
one
were going.
Popped off.
I know. Well, I was going. I knew 3 people that were going, so there would be at least the 4 of us.
He would know how many tickets were sold for the event.
I know, and I don't think there were many. I Googled Kirin J Callinan news to see if he was like actually sick or if he'd been in a car accident or something. And the first thing that came up was he was charged after allegedly flashing his penis on Aria's red carpet.
Right. You can't do that.
No, but that's the kind of performer I want to go see.
Yeah. But not at the Arias on the red carpet.
Yeah, perhaps not.
That's just public exposure, right?
It may have been an accident. So allegedly he deliberately exposed his penis in front of photographers.
Yeah, that's a bad one, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that. But
you can't do that.
But he did. So he's an artist with a reputation as a provocateur.
Yes. That's his jam.
And what stuck out to me is he actually has a song from his new album, If I Could Sing, called Anemic Adonis, You Made Me a Promise. And it's AI-assisted music video, puts his face on all these classic boxing and bodybuilder films.
Oh, yeah.
Rocky and
Stallone. Him onto, yep, sure.
It's pretty cool, though. Should just check it out just to see it. What kind of thing he's up to.
Yeah,
he's got a single called "Young Drunk Driver" as well, which was obviously you can see the provocateur part of him.
Totally. I mean, to an extent, that is the role of comedy too.
He sounds like quite a performer.
Yep, doing it. You missed him. Yeah.
If only I could be such a performer.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I could pop a ball out on the, like, just my character. Just pop a little testy out. Get a bit of action.
Right. You think that would be good, would it?
Well, it's worked for Kirin.
Well, it didn't really. He's been charged over it, right?
Yeah, but that was in 2018. He seems to be doing fine.
Doing fine. Yeah, it's always funny when you see that people are doing fine after doing something like that. Like, I always bring it up, but you know how when Conor McGregor punched that dude in the head, the old bloke in the head? Didn't you just think like, oh, well, I guess we're never going to see him again in terms of in the public sphere? No, just keep coming back. It's fine. Apparently it's fine. And so the message is that that's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fine. Right?
No, I don't think so. I've been led to believe it's not fine.
Yeah.
But when that's your thing, all right, so this Callinan bloke is known to be absurdly theatrical.
Sure.
So
you think he gets a bit of a free pass?
I think he does. If you do enough, it's a bit of a Trump situation. If you throw enough, he's Teflon. Nothing sticks to this man. He's getting charged with criminal offences left, right and centre. He's fine. He can do whatever he wants, and it just seems like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I'm going to start with a ball, right? Next week.
Starting with the ball.
Start with the ball, okay. And then I'll pay some hush money payments to former porn stars and put it on the books as a business expense.
Right, do that. And then that'll be good for that'll be good for exposure as well, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Perhaps. I'm just doing everything that's worked for everyone else.
You're looking for the cheat codes though, right? Why are you looking for the cheat codes?
Because
you'll break the game and then you won't want to play it anymore, But we'll start small. Pop a ball out. See what happens.
Yeah. Elon's got some competition.
Yeah, where?
Someone wants to use some kind of nuclear bloody spaceship thing. Let me get it up. They want to cut the time to get to Mars in half.
Yeah, by going what? Just going faster.
It's a new aerospace company. Yeah, just going faster. So they're looking to have a new rocket by the end of the decade, which sounds like a long time away. But
well, we're already halfway through the decade. Yeah.
And if you're going to get there as, twice as fast, it's a big trip.
It's worth the wait. Yeah. So what do you, because at the moment it's about 3.5 months to Mars, right? So they're talking about cutting that in half. That's about a month.
I think it's 6 months to Mars.
Okay. So this will get there in 3 then. Great.
So it's a nuclear powered rocket. So this is what, we've got all the nuclear bombs, right? We love the nukes.
Yeah, I've talked about this in the past about having a nuclear spaceship. I don't know why that hasn't been a thing. But
apparently it's been promised for a long time and there's been no delivery.
Yeah.
So there's this UK-based aerospace company, Pulsar Fusion, working to build a rocket powered by nuclear fusion that could reach speeds of 500,000 miles per hour.
Wow, hop on the nuke. That's the new mission, is it? Hop on the
nuke.
I mean, we were getting on rockets before, which don't sound too safe either. But getting on a nuke.
I've just got this image of Homer Simpson with the...
Yeah, that's the Dr. Strangelove.
Yes, I only saw that the other day.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Did we talk about it?
No.
Oh,
that's a Kubrick film, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic.
That was excellent. Oh, that's so topical, actually, with the...
Of course. Mutually assured destruction, right? That's what it's all about.
That is so worth a watch for anyone that hasn't seen it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What year was it? Did it come out? Was it like 67 or something?
Yeah, it was early in Kubrick's jam, wasn't it? 64.
64. Black and white comedy film. It's regarded as black comedy.
Yeah, black comedy.
But is it black and white? From memory, it is.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, Kubrick had a really strong, like his filmography is pretty much every major social issue of the 21st century in film form.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's wild. Full Metal Jacket, So he's like, I'll do a war film. Cool. All right, I'll do a science fiction film. Cool. All right, I'll do a book. Fine. Yeah, I'm trying to load up his filmography because he didn't do that many movies. But Strangelove. So this is all in a row. Strangelove, Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange. Shining, Full Metal Jacket, Eyes Wide Shut.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. That is pretty solid. I was working my way through his movies, so I did see Strangelove. I did watch Clockwork Orange.
Mm.
That's hard to watch.
Yeah, it's a tough watch.
It's just so violent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hectic.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I think that was actually quite controversial because of the violence that was depicted.
Yeah, also based on a book, right?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Yep. So Kubrick did write the screenplay, but it is a book, 1962 book.
And the idea is like the main character is in a gang and they're super violent. They do awful things to people. And then the main bloke gets done for a crime and is in prison for a certain amount of time. And they say that, they'll release him if he signs up to this program. And they don't really tell him a lot about the program.
Yep.
And it's this creepy brainwashing type, what they call it, the Ludovico technique. some kind of experimental psychological conditioning.
And everyone's seen the sort of imagery of his eyes being clasped open.
Yes, people would be familiar with that.
Yeah, people would be familiar with that even if they haven't seen the film.
And so they force him to watch these depictions of violence, but before he watches them, they give him some substance that makes him feel incredibly ill. And what happens is he starts to associate the images of violence
with these horrible feelings, yeah.
With horrible feelings. And then at the end, when someone gets even, you know, he's prone to outbursts and violence, but if he even thinks about it, he just becomes
physically ill
and just can't do anything. And one of the interesting things about it is he's an interesting character, isn't he? The main bloke. It was Alex, I think was his name, but he loves Beethoven, particularly Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. And quite unfortunately, that was playing in the background of the brainwashing videos that he was forced to endure. And so he starts experiencing the same sick feelings if he ever hears, particularly Beethoven. Song. Yeah, his favourite songs, yeah. And that plays into the rest of the plot.
But yeah, classic.
Says here that it inspired acts of copycat violence and was withdrawn from British cinemas at Kubrick's request.
Yeah, so that's happened a few times.
What was going on?
Well, movies have always been like criticized for like glorifying violence, right? That's sort of that in action, I guess.
I wonder what actual acts, what copycat acts were committed for him to...
Like enough people watched Fight Club, you know.
Oh, okay, yep.
Created a few fuck the system people, you know what I mean? There was this video essay that was by this guy that just said, hey, if you're worshipping Tyler Durden, you didn't get the point of the film. Like you didn't know what you're talking about. I was a big Fight Club fan. Love the movie. It's great.
And why weren't people understanding what the film was about if they're worshipping Tyler Durden?
I think they're just like he's the bad guy. Like, you know, he didn't. I think that's the point anyway. But
well, did you know that
in the you know Fight Club? You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you know that the ending in China was different to the rest of the world's ending?
No.
So in the end, right, Edward Norton's holding Marla's hand, and after he just shot himself in the face to get Tyler out of his system, he had to shoot himself in the face, right?
Yeah.
And he's standing there with Marla, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're like bleeding and shit." And he's like, "No, I'm totally fine. Like, don't worry about me. I'm totally fine." And she goes, and they sort of just hold hands, look out the window, and all the banks start exploding. Like the buildings start coming down, like they're standing at like the 15th story of a building, and all these other buildings just start going down because Tyler's end game was to return everyone's credit to zero. Like people who had big bank accounts would be a zero. People who had big debts would be zero. You know, he was like just big reset, right? So that was his big plan. And that's what happens at the end of the movie in the theatrical release. In China, it just fades to black and a title card comes up that just says, before any of the bombs could explode, the main character was apprehended and taken into police custody.
Why? Why is that?
Because they can't lose like that. You know what I mean? Like they can't have the bad guys win. You know, that's bad. Can't have the bad guys win.
So who's in control of that? So they just don't, some authority won't let the movie be released in China unless you do something about it. Wow.
Totally. It says
that's very North Korea.
It says like he was put into a mental institution and is due for release in X year or whatever, you know.
That is definitely has thing, right? Hints of North Korea in it.
Yeah. But Star Wars had two ladies kissing at the end of one of the movies. I think it was Rise of Skywalker. It's just in the background. I think they cut it out for the Chinese release as well. Like, just cut that out.
Can't handle it. Man, they got population issues to deal with. They're like, no, we're not doing any of this same sex shit. We're keeping it. We want babies, damn it.
Yeah, well, everyone wants babies, right?
The main character of Clockwork Orange, I think it's Alex. He kills the crime that he commits that he gets caught for is killing this crazy cat yoga lady with a huge phallic work of art. It's like this big penis. If you've seen it, or just It's hilarious. I don't know why. I don't know because it's just in the apartment or the building or the house that she's in when he's in there, and he picks it up and he thinks it's sort of funny. She doesn't want him to drop it, and he bashes her in the head with it.
Yeah. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. But
I know
it
when you
happen.
Say
killing someone with a giant penis is quite a, he selected it for a reason. It's quite an unusual, thing. I know that she didn't die from it.
Sure.
It's like the director is making or the person who wrote the book. I assume that it stipulates what the murder weapon was.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just an interesting thing I noted that you don't see every day.
So he's done a lot of work, that guy. The main character, he's done a lot of work.
Has he?
Yeah, like a lot of work.
Oh.
He's done a lot of voice acting in video games.
What's his name?
His name is Malcolm McDowell, but he's been there's a video game series called The Elder Scrolls.
Yes,
and he is a person called Molag Bal, which I think would be a Daedric prince or something. He's the voice of Molag Bal. So I'm going to have to replay that. Or is that – that's Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, he is a Daedra. Okay, cool. Daedric Prince.
Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah. So he's done a lot of stuff.
Because I didn't recognize him. Nor his
they would have
voice.
cast him as an unknown in the 60s, right? Because I think it was only the third or fourth movie that he did. So that was often the case back then.
And speaking of graphic scenes, one that I rewatched not so long ago, which probably had the most graphic and violent scene I've seen, and it was amazing, is the final scene of Taxi Driver.
Yeah, right.
Holy shit. When he shoots up the joint and then he tries to commit suicide and he's run out of bullets and then the cops bust in and he's imitating shooting himself in the head with his finger and there's blood just dripping off his finger. The scene is incredible.
Yeah.
I looked up that scene because I thought that thing was amazing. Apparently, it was so graphic, the film was going to be given an X rating.
Yeah.
And the only way you could get it downgraded to an R rating was for Scorsese to desaturate the colors. So, in that final scene, it looks really dark. The whole thing has this sort of this vibe to it, this gritty vibe. That's because he had to desaturate the color of the film. So the brightly colored blood was less prominent.
Makes sense. Tarantino does that, right? So in Kill Bill, it's all shot in color except for the really violent scenes where Uma Thurman's cutting through a bunch of people, and they'll do that in black and white so that they can make it. It's either a homage to that idea where you desaturate to get away with more.
It sounds like it probably makes it less real, less visceral for the viewers.
Exactly.
You talking to me? I'm the only one here. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
That's about all we got time for. Thanks for tuning in. Shoot us an email. Have you got the email?
Thanks for your great work, Val.
Yeah, thank you. Have you got the email?
Do I? Vacuous perspective at gmail.com.
No, I think it's just mail.
Mail.
I'm sure. Just send it to both. Can't go wrong. We'll be back with next week with all new stuff. Till then.
Sayonara.